All right. Well, after being a little bit maybe anxious, we've got a good number of calls coming in. What do you say we keep it rolling and talk
Absolutely.
to Everett in Michigan? Everett, tell us your story.
Hi. Recently, the first time since a long time, somebody told me that I was fat, and like tried to say it in this way of like, "Hey, if you keep going down this route, you might get health problems."
Mm-hmm.
And it was my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how did that land with you? What was the experience like?
Initially, I was like, Gram, what the heck? How could you do this?
Yeah.
She just pulled me aside and she didn't yell it out loud, but she was like, "Hey, like, you're starting to go down a bad route." And I was like, "I'm not at a dangerously, like, great weight.
Mm-hmm.
According to, like, BMI scores, I'm slightly in danger of being overweight, but I'm definitely not completely overweight, you know?"
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, I mean, to me, it sounds like the way that, Grandma was coming across was not the most like supportive, but it sounds like Grandma was really just trying to say, I want to make sure you're good.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to make sure you're going to be okay. Unfortunately, it was just the way that it was delivered, really came across in the wrong way. And so I can definitely understand. I've had family say that to myself as well. How that really, really makes you feel on the inside. The message is typically really trying to be good, just didn't hit the right mark though. And so I'm sorry that happened to you. But again, just like we were talking about with the last callers, if you feel good in your body, if you feel like you're able to do the things that you want to do and you're happy with that, that's what's most important. Other people are always going to have thoughts, opinions, and so forth, but ultimately it's your decision on what you want to do for yourself.
Also, I wanted to, like, share some little strategies that helped me with my own, like, self-image.
Ooh, yes, please do.
So the first one is think about how, like, certain personal attributes would be beneficial in multiple situations. For example, extra body fat. If you find a situation where you don't have as much food around, like you fell out of a plane or something, you're going to survive a lot longer.
Sure.
Also, increase snuggling abilities.
Oh, yes. Us bigger body folks, us fat folks, we are good cuddlers.
Keep a blanket warm. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I am sorry that you had that experience. I recognize that, especially in our families, we are so comfortable commenting on one another's appearance and commenting particularly on one another's weight, which is, it's problematic for so many reasons. Again, because we do try and force that association with health, which may or may not be appropriate. I mean, it is fair to say that if you are, for instance, struggling with significant depression, you may see a major change in your weight, and that weight change might be potentially an indication that there's something going on with your mental health. But making that assumption from the outside and then going and poking on it in such a careless and casual way can be really damning.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And these are people who, are supposed to, feel like love us unconditionally, right? These are people who are supposed to protect us and keep us safe and whatnot. And then when we get that kind of message, we're like, whoa. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do. And it really starts to kind of change your view on things. And that could be really, really hard. And again, sorry that was your experience. But again, if you're feeling good in your body, if you feel like you can do the things that you want to do, if you're happy, that's what matters most.
So I appreciate that you're working to make those changes. Anything else you wanted to add tonight?
I also have, like, another skill that I'm primarily used with my face, and it's kind of a funny one.
Okay.
But I would imagine, like, did you not hear me?
No, I'm sorry. Please go ahead. We just wanted to hear that skill before we start to wrap up the show for the night.
Okay, so I would imagine like a drag queen pick me up. Like a drag queen would be, I would imagine like a really nice drag queen, like telling me about like my different insecurities were like fine in like different little ways.
Yeah, you kind of imagine a particular figure, kind of that like internal family systems model of having these different aspects of your personality tell you the thing that you need to hear. I actually really appreciate that visualization and that strategy, and I'm so glad that you found it.
And let me tell you, a drag queen will always be somebody who can make you feel so good about yourself. And so having that as kind of your inner voice or whatever you want to call it, I think is lovely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. You have a great night. Thank you so much for giving us a call.